Hello. Today we are going to set up a WizeFi account. So I'm just going to walk you through kind of the steps and things that you need to think about as you create a WizeFi account. It's really actually great. They have a lot of really wonderful videos as you create an account. This one here is just kind of an introduction to WizeFi and how they can help you. And yeah, I would actually recommend taking the time to watch that video, check it out, understand what WizeFi is all about and how they can actually help you achieve a lot of your financial goals. But in this video, we are going to set up a kind of mock WizeFi account in order for you to kind of understand how to get your own account started. So obviously the first few things here that you'll do is put in your email address and create a password. It will immediately ask you to verify your email address by sending you a code, and then you need to go and click that and verify it. So we'll go ahead and do that here now. All right, so here we are. This is after you have put in your email address and created a password. We are going to now get the verification code and then verify the account, and then that way you will have your account actually set up. All right, after you've verified, this is the next page it takes you to. It just asks you to log back in now that your account has been verified. Okay, so now you've verified your account. You are now going to continue setting up this part of your account by starting your free 30-day trial of WizeFi. So if you do use the referral code, the referral link that I have in the video description below, you will get this free 30-day trial of WizeFi. Highly recommend doing the free 30-day trial when you get started, but they will ask you here for your information for your account, because after those 30 days, the plan is $8.99 per month. So still super affordable in order to kind of continue to manage your financial freedom plan here. Go ahead, take a second to fill out your information for yourself and then continue to the next step. Okay, so here we are inside of your account. It's really clean and easy to get set up now from here. And you have two options as you set up your WizeFi account. The first thing, and the way that I would actually recommend using WizeFi, is actually connecting with your bank accounts. Super easy process. I am not going to do it here, just as this mock setup here is not going to be connected to my bank accounts, but really easy that you can connect things through this program here. And you just have to search for your different bank accounts or your investment accounts or anywhere that you have like a loan or any kind of debt. So you can search up all these places. They actually have a lot of places that you can connect with, a lot of different bank institutions and things like that you can connect with for both your investment accounts as well as just savings, checkings, that kind of stuff, as well as just different places that you might have like a car loan or a mortgage or any other kind of debt. So you can connect all of those here. So definitely take the time to pause the video, connect all of those. You can also add in accounts manually. So this can be done if, for example, one of your financial institutions isn't supported here yet through WizeFi, you can add it manually. Or if you just want to do it all manually and don't want to connect your bank accounts, you can add them manually. I don't recommend this if you can connect your actual bank account, because it will pull data in directly and you won't have to like manually enter in transactions and things like that. So I definitely only recommend this if you don't have your specific bank or institution through the connection here. But for this example, I will just set up a couple here to show you kind of what it will look like once you have information inputted into your account. So this is what it will look like after you have added one of your accounts. If you did choose to connect your specific bank account through the connection line here, you will have to there will be a button that shows up kind of where this $5,000 is, and you can go and click it and you can activate it. So you activate the actual account and it'll verify the information such as your interest rate. It'll ask you to make sure to do like to say if it's an asset or a debt. Most of the time it will automatically know these things. So you can click on asset or debt if it got it wrong for whatever reason. You can rename the account if you want to, if it makes more sense to you. Like if this is your Chase Bank emergency fund or something like that, you can rename it. You can also change the subtype. For this example, I just put in general savings, but you can put emergency savings, or, these are all the different types of accounts that it could potentially be. So they even allow you to put in certain things like your assets, like cars, jewelry, clothing, stuff like that you can track. There are different reasons that I don't necessarily always put in things like actual possessions into our net worth. I have a whole video on tracking your net worth that you can go check out, and I kind of explain a little bit more why I don't usually do that. But if you prefer to, be my guest, you can definitely do that. But these are just some of the examples of the different types of assets that you could have. If it were a debt, you can type, you can choose what kind of debt it is, whether it's a car loan or a business loan, credit card, a student loan, educational loan, things like that, or maybe like medical debt. You can pick the best one, as well as if you have insurance, you can add your insurance in here as well. But for this example, we'll just do this and have general savings, and then just make sure it has the right balance. If you did pull it in from your actual institution, it will have the exact amount there. It doesn't pull over interest rates, which is one thing that is slightly frustrating, because off the top of my head, for some accounts, I just didn't know what my interest rate was. If you have just a regular savings account, it likely has some kind of interest rate as 0.01. But if you have like a high interest savings account or money market account, or if it's an investment account, you can put in the actual interest rate in there. Obviously that fluctuates over time, but put in what you know it to be at this moment. It does ask you to put in a target balance if you are entering this in manually, but if I remember correctly, you don't have to put in one if you pulled it in from your institution. Then you can say if you are making any direct monthly contributions to that account. So for example, I do have like a specific account that I add a certain amount of money into every single month, and it's just automatically added. So I did do that. But for some of my other accounts, it's not as regular. And so I didn't put in these for my personal WizeFi account. But for this example, we'll just leave it here like this. Okay, so after you add your first one, you can continue to add in all of your banks and institutions here. Don't forget to add any investment accounts you have or any debts. So you can go in here and look up each of those like credit places and everything that you might have. Again, if they don't have them here to connect directly with, you can add them manually. So I'm going to add a few more here to show what will happen next once you have a few more accounts. I do want to show you that as you add a debt into your WizeFi account here, be sure to add whatever your minimum payment is for it. This was actually a mistake that I forgot about when we were putting in our mortgage for our rental property on our actual personal WizeFi account. And it ended up making our projections on this fourth step here look insane, because basically our actual net worth was dramatically dropping because I wasn't making any payments on the debt, because I didn't put in any monthly minimum payment. So if you are adding in debts, even if you bring it over from the automatic connection to your online account, be sure that there is a minimum payment here, because for us, there was not. And so it made the projections look really, really bad. It doesn't require, it doesn't have like the little star amount here, or the star to say like, this is necessary for you to put in an amount here. So I skipped it and didn't put anything in because I was trying to go through it a little quickly. So don't forget that. So just make sure that there is a minimum payment amount. And then if you're adding, like if you're actually doing any extra payments towards it on a regular basis, you can add those as well. Also, don't forget the interest rate for your debt. Okay, so now I've added just a few basic accounts here. I added like a retirement account. I also added an emergency fund. I added that car loan, and then just general savings here. So now after putting in all of these amounts, putting in some goals, like some basic goals, like goal amounts for the emergency fund and savings account, and then putting in all the interest rates, don't forget to do that, and the minimum payments, don't forget to do that if you have any debts. Now we're going to go on to this next step to set some goals for your financial future. So here we go with setting some goals. I would recommend, taking some time to think through just generically, when do you think that you want to achieve your financial freedom date? So this could be like your ideal time that you want to retire, or that you just want to be able to achieve certain financial goals. So just kind of think through it for you. It will allow you to change these numbers and dates and things like that in the future, but just put in what you at this point in time kind of would like to ideally achieve. So looking through each of these things, this is the financial freedom number here will be automatically calculated as you put in these like details here. So for you, you can kind of think about like, what do you want your desired income to be for financial freedom? You might want to be able to live on less than you currently live on every single month right now, or you might want to have a larger amount of income that you want to be able to kind of live on every single month. Or maybe you want to try to stay at that same base rate that you are currently living at once you go into retirement or once you achieve financial freedom. So it kind of depends on what you envision your lifestyle to look like after you hit that goal. You could want to live more extravagantly or something like that. For this, I will probably just put like $8,000 a month. We'll just throw in a number. 67, sure. That sounds like a good age to achieve that around. And then whatever your birth date is, we will make it January 1st, 1990. I don't know. And then you're going to go over here and you can add in some extra details. So I did find this really interesting. You can actually go and copy this link, go into another internet browser and look up what your anticipated or projected monthly amount from Social Security will be in the future based on your age and when you're going to retire and how much you're actually adding into Social Security now. So you can go and check that out if you want and put in an amount. I also have heard other financial experts who recommend not even including Social Security into their kind of retirement or financial freedom plan, just because it's kind of one of those things at this point that isn't guaranteed for us who are millennials and younger. And so that is up to you if you would like to add those projections in. Just for the sake of this example, we aren't going to go through and do that, but you can if you would like to, and then add in when you anticipate actually being able to draw from your Social Security amount. If you're going to have like a pension, if you're going to have a pension from your job, those aren't as common these days either, but it is possible that you could have a pension. And then in the inflation rate, as well as just average investment rate of return for your investment. So I, for my own WizeFi account, just ended up leaving those in there. They were recommended. And so I'm just going to leave them here for this example as well. So if you would like to put in a specific number for yourself, go ahead. If you have one in mind, do that. Otherwise, we are going to jump into the next step here, which is adding in your income. So this part is really easy. It's very basic. You will just add in your income name and then whatever that monthly amount is. So I'll just put in job and maybe you receive $5,000 from your job. And then you can add in anything else. So maybe this is like a side hustle and you receive $500 a month from that side hustle. Maybe you have an Etsy shop too, and you receive $300 a month from that. So here is income. We'll just say this is a single person here on their own. And then we will go on to projections. You can basically add in here any kind of income that you would like. There really are no restrictions here, but it does recommend that you should enter in your income after taxes have been taken out, but before any kind of deductions like your 401k, HSA, anything like that. So just keep that in mind as you're entering in that information. That way, this is taking into account like you don't want to overtake from your income or add more to your projections than is necessary. So just keep those in mind as you are entering in your incomes. Then we are going to go on to projections. So this is the point that before I click it, just to give you a little heads up that this could be really exciting to see the projections, or it could be really disheartening and it could be kind of scary to understand and see what is going on with your finances. And so this is again just based on right now how much income you have, what you have as far as like inside of your accounts, like the actual cash, and then the debt that you have. So this is not taking into account like your budget and just monthly spending and everything like that. That comes a little bit later. So we're going to go in and check on our projections here. All right. So the desired financial freedom age that we put was 67, which is here. This is that little kind of cone pointer. The original plan here is this dark line. And based on our current model and projections and everything like that, we would not achieve financial freedom until the age of 75 years and 11 months. So basically 76 years old. So that means that we would have to keep working our current job and keep going the way we're at right now in order to achieve that financial freedom date. This obviously doesn't take in account any kind of raises you might get over the years or inheritance you might get from a loved one down the road. It doesn't take into account any of those kind of fluctuations that may happen. That's something that you can edit and change as time goes on to kind of see how that changes your projection. But based on just simply where we're at right now with these amounts, like the actual cash that we have, debt that we have, as well as our income, WizeFi basically has a plan that you can get on in order for you to actually achieve your financial freedom goal in the time that you want to achieve it. Based on their guideline, you could achieve financial freedom right before you turn 67. So that's good news that they have some tips and advice that they can give you in order to kind of help adjust that plan. Here it says that, there is good news that you can actually adjust your plan by about 9 years, and that's awesome. And so they will tell you kind of now moving forward what it is that you can adjust. So again, if you go back up here, you can go and look at your debt plan as well. So if you continue on the current just trajectory of paying the minimum amounts of that, I think it was a car loan that I added onto here. If you just plan on continuing that month over month, just not adding any extra or anything like that, you would have that all paid off by the time that you were 30 years old. Then you would take a couple extra years, now to pay it off. But great news is that if you get on this debt payoff plan, you can pay off the debt even quicker in just a couple years. So that's excellent news. Thinking about that would be amazing. And that is what really helps to change the trajectory of where your financial freedom date would be because you're not paying off debt for so long. That's basically just getting WizeFi set up. And then you'll go into the next few steps on getting your budget kind of in place. So once you're done kind of observing and taking this all in, no matter what the results are, you will want to save and continue to move forward to the next step. And that is kind of getting your budget in place. Now it's getting down to the finer details of how can we adjust our daily spending and where can we put our money to really optimize this plan and even potentially move this line backwards even more. So that could be really exciting stuff to do as well. Make sure to hit save and continue, and then you can get on to the next set of instructions.